to help them become a little bit more self-sufficient. And therefore, that's why I'm here. Financial education is very important. I want to ask you, how do you define financial education? In your own words. It doesn't have to be scripted.
So something that involves money, and you don't really you're learning something about money.
Yep.
Learning how to manage your money.
Learning how to manage your money. Anybody else? It is the basic money management. It's a skill. It's something that you learn. Just like you come to school every day and you learn about other subjects. Financial literacy is something that you learn. But does it have to be only about money? Financial education, does it only have to be about money?
No.
No? What other things can financial literacy be about?
The stock market.
The stock market. Absolutely. What other things?
Would be like
Investments. Bonds, yeah.
401k.
401k. Anything that has to do with money in some form. So financial education is learning the basics of money, credit, how to use it wisely, how to manage it wisely. I wish that when I was in high school, or even before high school, that I was given the opportunity to learn about finances. In my culture, finance is something that parents don't really talk about because it's sort of like a taboo type of thing, right? We don't talk about our finances to anybody. We keep it within our home, right? And so when it's given out or taught in the schools, we tend not to want to talk about it. What do you think is that?
Because it's something personal, and maybe your finance, maybe your money isn't as good as somebody else's.
Okay.
So
Okay, you may not have as much money as somebody else, like another family may have.
You may be embarrassed about how you said how much money you have compared to somebody else.
Right.
or
Judgment. People tend to judge people, right?
or like I don't know, say for instance, you could be in debt or something like that.
And
You wouldn't want the whole world to know that.
exactly, exactly. When we are in debt, for example, a lot of people tend to seek help, right? But if you know about it, or if you know just the basics of financial education early on at a young age, then it's something that you carry with you throughout your lifetime, because you never stop learning about financial education. Financial education is for a lifetime. You're always going to be learning something new. I am always looking to learn something new about financial education. Because I deal a lot with home ownership, I'm always interested in knowing about the interest rates that are out there, the different programs that are out there, the different funding that are out there. All of that involves financial education in one way or another, right? Because it talks about money, right? Did you know that the average young adult develops their habits of how to use money by the time they finish 5th grade? And you are what, in 12th grade? Maybe 11th and 12th. So by now you should have some sense of how you spend your money. Do some of you have like internships that are paid, or maybe jobs? You do, okay. So therefore you want to early on learn how to save. Get into the habit, because once you get into the habit, it's natural, okay? You never forget. So saving at an early age is very important, whether it is from a summer youth employment job that you get, right? Some youth are able to work during the summer, especially in Hartford, and you're able to save some of that money. A lot of times when we don't have a lot of knowledge about savings or even finances, we tend to just what? Spend the money, right? Because we're saying, okay, we're going to get paid again next week, right? But what about if you took, let's say you got paid $120. What if you took that $20 and you set it aside into a savings account? And you did that every time you got paid throughout the whole summer. You have a little savings set aside, right? You can take that saving and in turns turn around and put it into a CD, certificate of deposit, or you can do it into a savings account, and it's going to earn interest over time. So learning about financial literacy is very, very important. Why is it important to you? why is financial literacy important to you?
Because it gives you an understanding on your money. Like, it gives you, like, you'll be able to understand how to budget yourself more,
Absolutely.
and you'll know how to make wiser decisions with your money.
Perfect. What?
So,
So learning how to make those financial decisions.
I was gonna say, like, before we go to college, since it's coming up so close, you know how to manage our money, we have that money for books and balloon and board and things like that.
What happens a lot of times when you're ready to go off to college? What happens?
The credit card,
Credit cards, right? Is one of the number one things that youth between your ages in college age are in debt. Okay, here I want to just read this to you because I brought this up so you can understand it. It says that teenagers between the ages of 13 to 18 are spending like adults, but are unaware of the possible consequences, the spending choices that they make. And about 1/3 of teens that were surveyed admit to owing money to someone else, right? And then admit to saying, I don't know how I'm going to pay them back. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that youth start borrowing money and figure that they have to pay back?
they spend their own money, life decisions.
They don't make wise decisions about spending. It takes the average American $200,000 to raise a child up to the age of 18. $200,000. Where do our parents get that money to raise us? Work, right? Some parents may not be able to work, and so they have to provide to you from other resources like assistance and things like that, right? But even though they may be receiving assistance, they still should be saving something, right? Because we are expensive. I have, let's see, 2 granddaughters, right? That I already started to do a college savings for, and they're 2 and 3. It's never late or it's never too early to start saving. You want to save, okay? So, you know, what Kiara has been or was doing when she was with me was trying to develop a curriculum that you guys will be interested in. Youth-oriented, something fun, but also something that's going to give you the knowledge and the opportunity so that when you're ready to go out there, whether it be to work, whether it be to college, to make those wise decisions when it comes to your finances. Questions?
Everyone has to ask the question. It's a part of your,
Credit
di-
for today.
yeah.
What's the CD? You mentioned
It's a certificate of deposit. It is where you can, let's say, put $300 and sort of freeze it for a certain amount of time at the bank. And it earns a little bit more interest than a regular savings account. Mhm.
Did you have like a financial literacy class in your high school?
I did not, and actually, I came to school right here. I came to Barton Brown School when it used to be Barton Brown School. I came here for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And when I went to high school, I went to Piper Public High School. I went to Quirk Middle School, and I wish that while I was in elementary or even in middle school, that they did give us financial education. What I know today is all because I've been in training. It's all because I'm certified. I am a certified housing counselor, so I have to learn about all the financial stuff because I have to help families and individuals purchase homes.
What is the best way to get out of debt, if you know?
The best way to get out of debt, well, you have to have money, right? You need to negotiate, pay off, whether it be paying off credit cards, loans. Student loans really don't, you don't have to probably worry about student loan for a while. But getting out of debt, if you currently have credit cards, the best way to do it is to target your highest interest rate. So whatever credit card you have that has the highest interest rate, you start paying on that first.
What do you think is the best way to save money?
Best way to save money? So let's say you get paid $100 a week, right? Is $5 gonna make a difference in your pocket? You can start off with $5 every time you get paid. Set aside a savings account. Do a passbook account where you have to go in person and deposit that money.
That's the best strategy.
For a young adult like yourselves, absolutely.
Okay, so when you buy a house, you know like how APR rates, have to go up and down, like how do you differentiate?
You want to get something that's fixed. Okay, you want to get something that's fixed. You never, when you're going in to purchase a home, any interest rates, you want something that's fixed. You don't want anything that's going to be variable, that's going to go up and down after a certain amount of time. A lot of times when homeowners or prospective homeowners are looking to purchase, and they don't have the best credit, they may get something that's called a variable interest, where it means that it will be fixed for a certain amount of time, for example, 5 years, and after that, it'll start to fluctuate, unless you refinance to get something that's fixed.
You used fixed a lot. And I hear like fixed income and stuff like that. What is
Fixed income means that, let's say, for example, somebody receives assistance from Social Security, right? You get the same amount every month. It's not going to change unless, they're going to be bringing them up. Which they do every once in a while, but pretty much if that's the only source of income and that's all you get, then that's your fixed income.
Do you advise us to get a debit or credit card for college?
It's really, it can have its pros and cons. You definitely want to start getting to know your banking people, right? People at the bank, people at the credit union. If you use it wisely, absolutely. But if you're someone who will swipe, swipe, swipe and forget what's in your account, you're going to end up with more fees than you have money in your account. And therefore, it's going to start to affect your credit.
What's the difference between like using a debit and credit card?
The debit card funds come directly out of your account, right? It's your money. When you use it as a credit card, it takes a little bit longer to come out of your account. So for example, I went to Stop and Shop and I bought $30 worth of groceries, right? I swipe my card, I use it as a debit, it came right out of my account right away. If I use it as a credit card, then it takes up to 3 business days for it to come out of my account. And then therefore, if you don't keep, you're not keeping track of what's in your account, you may overdraft your account. Good questions.
Is investing in a stock a good way to invest in your money?
If you wanting to risk your money, okay, because anytime you invest in stocks, they go up and down. You may have, you may win some and you may lose some. So it's really a personal choice, and it really depends on how much you're willing to risk.
So which type of credit card is better? Does it depend on how you manage your money?
Absolutely. If you feel like, let's say for starters, let's say you don't have a credit card and you're looking to get a credit card, you want to get something that's secure. That allows you to establish credit. And what that means is you're going to be providing your bank with a certain amount of money, depending on how they do it. Some banks, for example, Bank of America starts with a $300, sometimes $500 secured credit card. You are giving them your money. They in turn are going to give you a credit card with their logo and the credit card logo. And as you use it, you have to pay it back as soon as your bill comes. So that $300 goes back to its original amount. So you always want to start with something that's secure. And always, look up interest rates. There's a really good website called bankrate.com that you can look up all kinds of interest rates for stocks, for savings accounts. It's a really good website.
So what is a 401k exactly for?
It's a savings for retirement. So your employer or some employers will match you on a yearly basis. So I have what is called a 403B because we're a nonprofit organization. And so I save automatically on my paycheck a certain amount of money every month. And at the end, I'm not sure they do it quarterly or yearly. whatever you save up to the date, let's say if it's every 3 months, whatever I save up to 3 months, my job will match it and put that into my retirement plan. So there are different retirement plans depending on, if you're a for-profit or a non-profit organization.
And what's the difference between?
I'm sorry?
What's the difference between nonprofit and?
Non-profit agencies like the one I work for are agencies that depend on funds from like the federal government or state agencies. Maybe some banks may fund some of our programs. Where for-profit are huge companies like Bank of America, that type of stuff, Travelers.
So when you buy a apartment or condo, do you have to worry about the same things as when you buy a house?
Condos come with condo fees. So therefore, you're paying not only your mortgage, but you're also paying condo fees. So that if something breaks, there's what's called a condo association. That money that you pay for your condo fees, whatever things need to be fixed, will be fixed from that pool of money, which everyone in the condo association puts in every time you pay your mortgage.
When you have a credit card, like, what's the average amount of interest or fees that you have to pay for something?
Credit cards vary. If you have really, really good credit, you can get a really good interest rate. But if you don't have such great credit, your interest rates could be really high. Right now, credit cards range from 15% to about 25 to 30%. They're really high.
How often is it like, it goes up 15% by like how, like every month, you don't pay it every 6 months?
No, interest rates you'll have for the duration of your credit card. If anything is going to change with your credit card company has to send you like a pamphlet or something that says your interest rate is going to go up. But it's normally fixed, so they don't really go up.
When paying bills, what do you have to like worry about or keep track of?
You want to keep track of what's over your head first, right? A roof over your head, food on the table, and clothes on your back, right? And then if you have credit cards, and let's say your credit card company is telling you when you get your statement, you have to pay $50, your minimum balance is $50. But you normally send them $100 because you like to double it, right? You want to make sure that you're meeting your daily expenses first, and then even if you pay the minimum balance on your credit card, when it reports, it's still going to report as paid, even though you're only paying the minimum.
As you know, we're in a time of depression and people are losing their jobs.
Absolutely.
And since you're like financial, what do you call it?
I am, let's see, I am a housing counselor, I teach financial education, I run a financial empowerment center. I'm not a guru, but I know a little bit about finances.
Yeah. So, since you're a financial educator, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
what would be your best advice to someone that has just lost their job and but they have good credit, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not making any money. So what would be your best advice for them?
Well, since they're probably going to be getting unemployment, right? Let's just say that they will be getting unemployment. They want to pay the minimum balance on their credit cards. Don't pay any extra. Pay the minimum balances because every month you still, and on time, right? You want to pay those on time. It's very important. Because if you pay the minimum balance and they're on time, it's going to report as, being paid as agreed. If you pay them late, you're going to get a fee charge, and you don't want that, especially if you're not working and you're just trying to make ends meet and still keep, your promise to pay them back.
What are some factors that kind of messes up the credit?
Not paying your bills on time, not paying your bills on time. That's pretty much what it boils down to. If you don't pay your bills on time, like your household expenses may not be reported to the credit bureau, right? Your credit cards, on the other hand, your credit cards and your loans will be reported to the credit bureaus 30 days, every 30 days. So it's a cycle, every 30 days it reports. So if your landlord doesn't report to credit agencies and you pay them late, they may charge you a fee, right? But it's not going to be reported anywhere. But if you pay your credit card late, there's gonna be a fee that you have to pay, and they have to report it to the credit bureaus. So paying your bills on time is one of the most things that you need to do.
What's the most common story that you hear about when a person is in debt, like what's the number one cause of why they got to that in the first place?
Well, a lot of times, and I just had someone in one of my programs that did bankruptcy. Unfortunately, that was the only route to go because they would have never been able to pay back their debt. But if someone is in a lot of debt, you want to try to talk to your creditors. Don't, you're going to get letters in the mail saying, this is overdue or you owe this. Don't be afraid to open your mail. It's not going to bite you, right? Because creditors, a lot of times when you are late or you defaulted, they're going to want to make some type of arrangement with you, whether it be to settle the debt or whether it be to make a payment arrangement. But don't be afraid to contact your creditors. You're good?
Who do you go to for help?
There are a lot of different places that you can go for help. There are a lot of different nonprofit agencies in the city of Hartford that provide this type of service. There's an agency in East Hartford called Money Management International for individuals who want to get a sense of, what their debt is and what they have. It's a really good agency. A lot of nonprofit agencies in the city of Hartford that do these services for free.
What you do the best?
I really couldn't say, to be honest. I really couldn't say, because they all do different things. So take what Kiara has to offer you and provide you, to heart. Keep that in mind that when you're out there in the field, this is something that you're going to come across every day, right? Learning how to deal with finances and money issues and credit and debt. So Kiara, in her lessons, will be talking to you about the very basics, and this is just a very basics of budgeting and credit and maybe loans and all the things that has to do with finances. Okay? Thank you so much for having me.